You are now locked into the Scouting Room, the home of authentic, fun, and unfiltered NFL and college football content. We will bring you film breakdown and analysis, hot topic discussions, and in-depth NFL draft prospects, the best place for it all. So sit down, have a drink, and let's talk football in the Scouting Room. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Scouting Room. I am your boy, Damian Parson, and we're going to get into the film of first-round cornerback for the Baltimore Ravens out of Clemson, Nate Wiggins. In his first action in the NFL against the Philadelphia Eagles, he was targeted 6 times, allowing 2 receptions for 8 total yards. He forced 3 pass breakups, and he allowed a passer rating of 42.4. This young man in his first NFL game, albeit preseason, played 43 total snaps, 26 in coverage. So you like what you saw from him, and we're going to break down some of the good things, some things we want to see him kind of improve on as well. So let's go ahead and flip the tape on here. And we're going to see one of the big things he's going to be on the outside. And I think it's John Ross he's in the lineup against. One thing that's going to be a talking point for him is his tackling, right? Remember Greedy Williams from a couple years ago? He fell in the draft after being a really good coverage guy out of LSU. He fell because teams felt like he was not a willing tackler, wasn't physical, wasn't tough. And that was some of the things I remember hearing this past draft about Nate Wiggins. But as you see there, he makes contact with his I believe that's his former, was that Will Shipley or the ball carrier? No, that's a receiver. I'm sorry. But makes contact with him. You know what I mean? Good enough contact to slow him down. I think that's the type of tackler he's going to be. He's not going to be someone that you're going to expect a lot of big hits from, but he's going to be that type of guy. So as you see the cone come down, wait for the rest of the illustration to pop up here. We have cover one man with the single high safety, middle linebacker dropping off kind of as a hover in the middle of the field. Man coverage across the board. And I believe this is him versus Johnny Wilson, the guy that he has experience with. And one thing about it, Mr. 4'2" in the 40, Nate Wiggins, he's going to be able to run with a lot of guys vertically. So trying to stem him vertically upfield, it will be a task because he knows either you're not fast. If you're not a fast receiver, you're a big body guy, a little bit more lumbering, more of a long strider. He knows that he can kind of play it slow out the gate. He doesn't have to put himself in a panic situation. He can kind of play it slow to where he can then do this here and play the back shoulder route or the comeback route, working back to the quarterback, the curl routes, the hitches, right? The stop routes, those type of routes where they want to sell vertical and stop. And you see that. And he's a guy that is, even though he's not, and I love the fact that he's violent in terms of fighting through the hands of the receiver. And even though he's a thinner, wiry frame defensive player, defensive back, one thing about it is if you do push him, he understands the nuance of the game that if you push, I can pull a little bit. And he's going to do just that. And I really appreciate just his coverage ability. This young man showed quiet feet in terms of trying to mirror and match guys. And we'll get into a lot of that here. But let's continue. Again, he is on the outside, matched up against, I believe that John Ross. And then to run down the field with John Ross, knowing that he has a safety over the top if need be, right? So you can kind of play some two-man under, some trail technique if you need to. But what I appreciate is his ability to be able to run with these type of guys, right? Mr. 4.24, what I think Nate ran a 4.29 somewhere in there, 4.28 in the 40. So you're gonna have like I said, safety over the top, gonna work the strong safety down and against the running back and everything. And again, cover one man. But here's what he needs to improve at on this particular rep. Turnaround. Just turn around. That's a pick. That is an interception waiting to happen. And again, back-to-back pass breakups, essentially, where Kenny Pickett, the quarterback, tried to test the rookie. And it was not a fruitful attempt either time. And I just want him to turn around and locate the football here, because if you do that, you're going to put yourself in position because he's got great ball skills, guys. You know, you watch him at Clemson, he's got outstanding ball skills, but that's how you put yourself in position to then not just be a great cover corner, but do what we saw you do against Drake May. Do what we saw you do against Florida Atlantic last year and take the ball away and be a playmaker. So now we're going to have what looks, I believe it was cover 6. So you got quarter, half. He's got deep. He's got deep. strong safety has deep, free safety's got deep over the top, and the other opposite corner is playing the kind of curl the flats, cover two type of look with the linebackers dropping off to their spots into their zones. And one thing about it, like on this particular route, again, staying patient and fighting through the hands, right? Like Scooch technique turns his back to the quarterback, right? Basically saying you're not going to get to my blind spot. Because if he had turned his back to the sideline, if the receiver, John Ross, stems him outside, get behind him into that blind spot, he zone turns. Now you work back inside on like a post or a dig route at 10, at 15 to from 12 to 15 yards, somewhere in there. So I appreciate and really like the fact that he did turn his back to the quarterback, eliminated the receiver, because then if the receiver tries to break cross face, he knows that he can get hands on, be a little physical, kind of play like catch technique in a sense, right? And the refs to let it go, but you see him, he's upfield. The receiver tries to gear down, but also tries to, and he anticipates and has a feel for that receiver getting ready to put hands on him, that he makes sure he gets his hand on to stay under control so he doesn't get pushed and thrown off. That's nuance. That's some veteran type play there. And then again, fighting through the hands, working back down to the catch point. Love that. Love that. Play through the hands. Punch the pocket, as every defensive coach would tell their corners. And again, the Baltimore Ravens, can we just talk about the fact that they just know how to draft? Like they're just so good at just drafting, right? Letting guys fall to them. And that's what I love the most about what they do every draft, whether it's Tyler Linderbaum and Kyle Hamilton, whatever it may be, Mark Andrews. They got Hayden Hurst and Mark Andrews in the same draft. It's just those type of things. You see, playing the pocket, right? You see him off coverage here in more of a zone look. Got the receiver going in motion. You're going to have kind of a fire zone blitz here. With the linebacker who's walked up on the edge on the right side, the bottom of the screen. He's going to drop off into the zone. He's got deep third. Safety's going to walk down. And it's really to pressure the quarterback and get the ball out of his hands quickly and force a quick pass, right? This ended up being a completion. This is just a game of inches, as they say. And you see him kind of shuffle, side saddle, bail out of there, bail technique. You're going to see him kind of shuffle out of bounds, shuffle upfield. And then, still has good hip fluidity to turn and then try to work back downhill. But what we saw is just, again, inches, a game of inches. And you tip your cap, good throw. Quarterback was reading it. And that's why I kind of wanted him to read that quarterback's eyes a little bit and prepare for the break a little bit quicker. Because if you watch Kenny Pickett, he's kind of eyeing this the whole time. Like he's kind of eyeing this immediately. And if you're Nate Wiggins, you're watching this, you have recovery speed, you have your safety getting back into the middle of the field, so you have help. Understanding that, hey, that deep pass is going to be difficult for Kenny Pickett to hit. He doesn't have the strongest arm or the most distance on his arm either. So he's staring that down. Just recognize it a little bit sooner, and this might be a pick six because he did this to Drake May. Go check the tape on the highlights. When Clemson played North Carolina in 2023, he absolutely played off just like that and triggered downhill and snatched that ball on the sideline. So that's a play that, honestly, quarterbacks are going to have to be weary with that type of throw with Nate Wiggins, simply because he is so good at jumping those. I was a little shocked that he actually didn't jump this and read the eyes of Kenny Pickett, because Kenny Pickett's head and eyes were there the entire time. So now we're going to have basically man-to-man. It's going to be an RPO action, and he gets beat here. I would say he gets beat. This could have been a quick glance across the middle to big Johnny Wilson, and, he stops his feet. Johnny does a good job not really giving him, he doesn't give him a lot. You know what I mean? He's kind of slow tempo with the stem upfield. Then he stops, and you don't know if it's a shake. You don't know if it's an option route. And then, you know what I mean? So you're kind of at the defensive back's position. You're just trying to wait for the guy to break and read, and he doesn't get too, and that's what I appreciate about Johnny Wilson's route here. He doesn't get too close or too much into the airspace of Nate Wiggins. He keeps about 2 yards, 2 to 3 yards, maybe 2.5 yards of separation between them, and then he breaks across the field. Didn't get the pass in his direction, but it was there for the taking. What I want to kind of see here, you do have the safety over the top. I would have liked to see a little bit more of a shade. You're a man to man. Shade more inside, right? Shade more inside to where you take away that. It's on the RPO action where now they have to make a decision. Do we run the slot fade off of this? And if so, like you have that the tape is there from Florida State in 2022 versus Clemson and 2023. Johnny Wilson struggled to catch those to bring down and reel in those contested catch opportunities against Nate Wiggins. He was one of the most competitive corners at the catch point in the 2024 NFL draft class. And like I said, the Baltimore Ravens, they just know how to draft, guys. They just know how to draft. And then again, kind of shade more inside, force them to make a pre-snap read. I don't know why Kenny Pickett didn't throw it to Johnny Wilson because it was open. It was there. Johnny Wilson had to win. Now, coming back to the tackling and everything else. Now, this is where you can kind of get caught. You're going to see him here. They kind of motion down into a condensed set. It looks like a run set. Looks like run blocking is in the future of this play. His eyes are going to be too much in the backfield at the quarterback for me because now you have his teammate Will Shipley leaking out into the flats and he's not in position. And now, I'm not even going to criticize him saying he couldn't tackle in that situation. He's just not in position. Truthfully, he's just not in position, and you kind of wanted him to be. You kind of wish he was in position on that particular play, but yeah, don't read the quarterback's eyes too long. If you're going to read, get to your drop, get to your spot, and kind of eliminate the space between you and the potential threat of a receiver in your area, in your zone. I know he was looking at I think it was a tight end who's pressing upfield, but still, just kind of be a little bit more on the P's and Q's in that situation. So we got him again. Another zone look here. And again, being able to, looks like cover two. So he's going to, what I like here is quickly go ahead and get underneath the route. If you want to throw something short, something quick, want to work the quick game, I'm not going to give you that. I appreciate that. And because now, even with the receiver, looks like Johnny Wilson again, working around him on kind of like a hook curl, even with that, I'm right here in the vicinity. So now your quarterback has to make a decision. Are you going to make that throw? Is that a risky throw? Because if he throws that and I'm that close to him, this could be 6 the other way. I could drive on that. It could be 6 the other way, or at least just another pass breakup to add to his total in this game. Young man balls. He balled out before getting hurt. I know he said there was a shoulder injury that listed him day to day. Things like that. We might see him again in the preseason. We might not. I think he showcased enough. To be completely honest, I think he showcased more than enough to say, do we really need him to line up and play every snap, 45 snaps in every preseason game? No, you don't. Now you got him in press man alignment, cover one, safety in the middle of the field, and again, just what I like about him as well, this is not just a guy that plays off or plays zone. He understands how to press bigger receivers. I'm not going to get all the way up in your airspace. Quiet feet, quick feet, being 1-inch steps, being able to mirror and match a guy. Boom, now I get my hand on you, disrupt you. I'm in your hip pocket. If that pass is thrown, I have enough arm length to be able to try and fight through the pocket, as we've seen him do earlier in this video multiple times. Fight through the pocket. He knows how to do that and get that done. So I think I like the fact that with Nate Wiggins, you can run multiple coverages. You can run cover 3. You can run cover 4. You can run cover 6. You can run cover 1 man. You can run cover 2 man trail. He can do those type of things. And again, he's a sticky cover corner with electric movements. He's an elite athlete. The Ravens, I can't say it enough. The Ravens know how to draft, and they got them one, guys. They got them one. Thinking about adding him to this secondary is very scary with Kyle Hamilton, with Humphrey, Stevens, and everything. Arthur Millette, man, this is a legit secondary here. So we're gonna have another zone look here. And we just got to appreciate, again, strong free safeties working down, strong safety over the top, so it looks like cover 3. And I like the fact that you see him side saddle out of there and then handle the switch release and then play through the hands. Come on. That's what I'm talking about, right? Stay pass it off. Let them switch it up. Pass it off. Turn your hips, trigger downhill, and now break it up. Eliminate the space and the level of comfort for the receiver to try to make those type of grabs on the sideline, right? Close that space. Make those throwing lanes tight, condensed, and uncomfortable for the quarterback. Because if you do this enough, you know what they're going to start doing? They're going to say, no, I'm not going to throw in your direction. And that's what you want, right? We've seen Darrelle Revis and Antonio Cromartie, Sauce Gardner, Derek Stingley Jr., those guys that have the ball skills, the athleticism, the arm length and wingspan to make you pay. You're going to try and stay away from them as much as possible. Again, he does a good job. He does, I would say, like the two-hand jam, you got to be weary with that. You got to be in the right position a lot of times. He does get swim moved. Good job by the receiver, knocking his hands down, but then you see him be able to open that hip, turn, run with them, and cover him. It looked like it was supposed to be a corner that ended up going up. And again, not the quarterback's not going to throw that to the receiver. He's not going to give that an opportunity. But yeah, again, be careful with the two-hand jam, but get back in phase. You're in phase. How do you play out of phase? Do you look panicked? Do you look rushed? No, he looked under control the entire time. I love to see it. Now you got a motion coming across. He's outside. I think that's John Ross again. 1-on-1, being able, and this is where I want to see. Boom, trigger, identify the run, and trigger downhill. I love that. I love this play. Again, he's going to be a tackler that's going to chop the tree trunks. He's not going to hit you up high a lot. He's not going to try and be a true wrap-up tackler, things of that nature, because he is a thin, wiry frame. You're going to have to live with that. Will some guys be able to get away from that shoulder, that diving shoulder attempt? Yes. Some running backs and some receivers, tight ends are going to be able to leap, kind of hurdle him, leapfrog him, or just be able to stonewall their momentum, get strong, absorb that contact, brush them off, and keep going. Yes, but that's where, again, triggering quick enough to where even if that running back, even if he took the time in that, guys, to basically, if he took the time and was able to fight through that, you still got 23 triggering downhill. So it good showing for Nate Wiggins, in my opinion. All right, guys, that is the film breakdown of Baltimore Ravens rookie cornerback Nate Wiggins in his first preseason game, first NFL action. Again, lockdown type of coverage. A guy that has good nuance, play skill, ball skills, competitiveness. Want to make sure he's going to do what you need him to do as a tackler. But nonetheless, I think this young man has star written all over him for the Baltimore Ravens, who just know how to draft. I kept saying it during this video. But now, guys, I just hope that I earned your like, your comment, your subscription. And please hit the bell notification because there's a lot of content coming to this tier channel here at the Scouting Room. So I'm Damian Parson. You can find me on Twitter at DP_NFL. Thank you guys so much. We out.